Service friends, I'm Orpheus Praxis. Welcome to my channel. For decades, we've been told the universe is a bubble expanding into meaningless emptiness. We were sold a model in which 95% of reality was hidden behind labels like dark matter and dark energy. We were taught to believe in the invisible, the unmeasurable, the unfalsifiable. This was presented as scientific consensus, but in truth, it became a decorative framework, a stage set where the essence of science could no longer breathe. But now, reality itself has spoken. It said, enough. With the discovery of local little red dots LRDs, at redshift values of just 0.1, 0.2, the very foundation of the standard cosmological model begins to collapse. These objects, previously thought to exist only in the so-called early universe, now appear in the nearby cosmos, identical in structure, spectrum, and emission characteristics. This is not just an anomaly. This is a fractal awakening. It is a signal that the architecture of reality is deeper, more layered, and more coherent than we were ever allowed to imagine. FBS3R, the fractal Bindu S3 of reality, does not adjust equations to match data. It derives order directly from the fabric of existence. This model says the universe does not expand through space, it unfolds through nested resonance. Redshift is not a measure of distance. It is a measure of depth within the recursive layering of the fractal structure. These LRDs are not contradictions, they are confirmations. Consciousness is not a side effect of matter. It is the harmonic phase of unfolding form and void. What the standard model had to simulate, explain away, or obscure, FBS3R reveals as inevitable. There is no need for artificial entities, no need for dark matter or dark energy. What was hidden now stands in the open, and the universe reclaims its identity, not as chaos, not as coincidence, but as a coherent fractal sphere where everything resonates with everything else. Now let us begin.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed. Today we're getting into something pretty big. A scientific bombshell, really. It's forcing us to rethink, well, maybe everything about the universe itself. We're looking at findings from the James Webb Space Telescope and some really interesting theoretical work from Andrei Paris and Boris Batinin, stuff that challenges cosmic expansion as we know it. So, yeah, get ready to maybe rethink the cosmos a bit.
It's amazing, isn't it, how one observation can just, shake things up. For ages, the standard model, lambda CDM, that's been the go-to. The idea that the universe is mostly dark energy, dark matter, expanding linearly since the Big Bang.
Right, the standard picture.
But this new data, it's really putting the pressure on.
Okay, let's dig in. The James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, it's found these tiny things called little red dots, LRDs. And before, everyone thought these were super old relics, right? From the very early universe, way out there at high redshift, Zzz greater than 5.
Exactly. Fossils from the dawn of time, essentially. High redshift meant super distant, super old. That was the thinking.
But JWST, with its crazy deep infrared eyes,
Yeah, and the resolution.
it found more LRDs. But not just way out there. It found them, locally, relatively speaking. Redshifts around 0.1 or 0.2.
That's the kicker. Locally.
Well,
And not just similar ones, they are identical to the distant ones.
Identical how? What are we looking at?
Well, in all the key ways. They're just as compact. They have the same distinctive V-shaped spectra. Same kind of broad emission lines, same metallic absorption lines.
Okay, hang on. V-shaped spectra, broad lines. What do those fingerprints actually tell us about what these LRDs are?
Good question. So think of the V-shape. That points to really intense energy, maybe from an active galactic nucleus like a feeding black hole. The broad lines tell you gas is moving incredibly fast inside them. And the metal lines, they show the chemical composition. The point is, these fingerprints match perfectly, whether the LRD is supposedly billions of years old or relatively nearby in cosmic time.
Which makes no sense for the standard model, does it? If the universe is expanding and changing over billions of years.
Exactly. Objects shouldn't look identical across such vast stretches of time and space if the universe itself is evolving like that. It's a huge contradiction.
So, Lambda CDM struggles to explain this without, adding weird stuff.
Pretty much. You end up having to propose exotic entities or really contrived evolutionary scenarios just to make it fit. Patchwork solutions, basically.
Okay, so if the standard model is creaking, what's the alternative? You mentioned Pris and Batinin.
Right. They propose this fractal reality model, FBSR. It's a completely different picture.
Fractal reality.
Okay. The core idea is, forget linear expansion. The universe isn't stretching out in a straight line. It's more like a self-similar compact sphere, like infinitely nested Russian dolls. Evolution happens in layers fractally.
Wow, okay. How does that explain these identical LRDs everywhere?
Well, first, finding them locally suggests these structures aren't rare relics. They're like a fundamental repeating pattern, a universal regularity happening at every level of this fractal structure. So, cosmogenesis, the creation of structures, isn't a one-off Big Bang. It's happening continuously, everywhere, on all scales.
Continuous creation. Okay, and redshift then, if it's not about expansion and distance.
That's the big paradigm shift. In this fractal model, redshift isn't measuring how fast something is moving away or how far it is. It's measuring its depth within the fractal structure.
Depth, so those ancient LRDs aren't necessarily far away in space.
They're just deeper in the fractal layers of reality. Like zooming into a fractal image, you see similar patterns repeating at different levels of magnification, different depths. That's why they can look identical, but have vastly different redshifts. They're the same kind of structure, just at a different fractal level.
Wait, does this mean you don't need dark matter or dark energy in this model?
That's one of the most compelling parts. The model seems to naturally account for things like cosmic density and the observed radius of the universe without needing those hypothetical placeholders. The explanation comes from the structure itself, not from adding mysterious unseen stuff. It's much more, you could say, elegant.
That's a huge shift. It just kind of clicks into place, doesn't it? And JWST was key because it could finally see these local LRDs clearly.
Absolutely. Its power, its sensitivity in the infrared, the detail, it was crucial. But also there's this shift in thinking, you know? Scientists are now looking at anomalies, not explaining them away, which fits this fractal idea. Better tools let you see deeper into the repeating patterns.
Okay, let's quickly recap them. Finding identical little red dots, both seemingly ancient and relatively local, blows a hole in the simple expanding universe idea.
The big one.
And this fractal reality model, FBSR, offers a different view. A self-similar layered universe where redshift means depth, not distance.
And where structures like LRDs are common, repeating patterns, implying continuous creation.
It explains the observations without needing dark matter or dark energy, offering a more logical and harmonious picture.
It definitely provides a framework that seems to fit these new puzzling observations quite naturally.
So it really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? If something as fundamental as redshift might actually be telling us about depth in a fractal cosmos.
Yeah.
What else? What other basic assumptions about reality are just waiting to be completely reevaluated? Something to think about.
There is much to reflect on, and let these reflections continue in silence, where the mind lets go of patterns and only pure seeing remains, until we meet again in the space of understanding. Subscribe to walk this path together with us. I am Orpheus Praxis, wishing you all clarity. Namaste.